That's why my camera turned itself off? Oh, gotcha. That's it. I gotta play Ripper for my camera. Now, I want to show you something else real quick. Turn this sheet off, although I think you get the point. I also want to show you this sheet here. This is, oops, I can't. I have to restart it. Sorry. I forgot I can't have more than one of these open at once. All large numbers. So what I've done here, it's simply to also illustrate the same idea, keeping track of rolling a 3. What you're going to see is you're going to see 6 different dice show up on the graph when I start rolling. So right now, there they are. Now some of them are laying on top of each other. One's purple, one's yellow, one's red, one's orange, one's blue, and one's green. Green one's over here. What this is the percentages from 0 to 100%. And here's how many times I'm rolling each one. Notice how they're all over the place right now. They were jumping all over the place. Watch what happens as I roll more and more dice. Where are those dice starting to head towards as far as the probability of rolling a 3? Let's let them do the little dance. There's the green one. What are they starting to hover in on, guys? Do you see what they're starting to hover in on? They're starting to hover in on 1/6.
Reminds me of Close Encounters.
Say that again.
I said it's reminding me of Close Encounters.
Yes, right. Exactly. It's like a bad 80s arcade game. But the point is that these things, although it's very noisy at first, i.e. how many trials do you need, right, Matt and Taryn, right? As you let the trials go on, they begin to siphon down and they begin to coagulate around, not to use the word coagulate, but I'll click that. But they're starting to get to that 16%. So that's the idea is, another way of looking at those probabilities is, it's a percentage of time you can expect that result. But it doesn't tell you when it's coming. That's the trick, right? How many of you have heard the phrase, that machine's hot, or that machine's due? That statement is full of crap.
Yeah.
Because that implies the machine is remembering what it did. It implies the machine is shuffling when indeed the machine is randomizing. Every time you pull that arm, the card goes back in the deck. It doesn't pull that card out. So if you're watching a slot machine and it loses, that loss is just as likely the next time. The exact same loss can come up again the next time. And just like the same win go up. You can see somebody hit and then hit right again. Nobody's guaranteeing that it can't happen. Go ahead, Faith.
That's what I was going to say. So they're just kind of waiting for the cluster.
They're waiting for the cluster, and they're trying to predict when the cluster is. The problem? You never know when the cluster's gone. That's the problem. That is the problem, is you never know. Remember that time? I can't believe it happened in front of you guys. I flipped 9 tails in a row.
No, it was like 11.
Was it 11? It was something ridiculous, and I'm like, here we go. And I kept waiting for it, and it just kept going. It reminds me of a discussion I had with Vince Larisha. Love you, Vince. He taught me statistics, my second statistics course at University of Delaware. And he talked about his favorite sports team and how he watched them religiously. And there was one season, I forget what team it was, but they always either flipped or called. They got tails something like 9 times in a row at the start of every game. Like every game they were in, the coin was flipped tails. And his point was, what's the chance of tails on the next coin flip? It's still 1 and 2, isn't it? And I love that statement because then he took it too far. He's like, yep, I'm going to bet on heads. I'm like, why would you bet on heads, Vince? You have a PhD in statistics. Why would you say that? And the point is because he is human. And when you see that many tails, you keep waiting for the heads to correct itself. It will happen eventually, but you don't know when. You don't know when. It becomes Taryn's question all over again. How long do you have to wait until the heads comes back? That's a problem called the gambler's ruin that we attack in 243, which is fantastic. Yeah, Faith, go ahead.
So then the casinos, they bank on that clustering too, because that's what keeps people.
They have to bank on the clustering because it's going to happen somewhere. Now, you can't predict with some regularity how often the clusters happen. For example, you can go on Google search engines where they have millions and millions of digits of the number pi, and you can find your address in them. Like I typed in my phone number from my old 7621379, my old phone number from when I was in college, in there, and it found it 22 times in pi. So they're there, and some of them are really close to each other. So they're there. The casinos have to know that to know how to pay out when the clusters happen. And they adjust the odds accordingly. They adjust the payouts accordingly. Yes. So, back to experimentation. You have a coin in front of you. Let's use the coin first.